Good morning, everyone. We're just a tiny bit late. We'll call it back into recess, or no, we'll call it back to order at 9:09. We will start with another roll call.
It was pointed out that half the room couldn't see me yesterday, so I guess I do need to stand at the podium. Today, I'm only going to call the associations, and you tell me the total number of delegates you have at your table this morning. Colorado.
6 voting delegates.
Texas.
6 voting delegates.
Golden State.
6 voting delegates.
Arizona.
6 voting delegates.
Missouri.
3 voting delegates.
New Mexico.
4.
Thank you. North Star.
5 delegates.
Diamond State.
4.
Atlantic States. 2. Nevada.
5 voting delegates.
Ilgra.
14.
Red River.
5 voting delegates.
Keystone.
1.
Utah.
5.
Canadian Rockies.
1 voting delegate.
Thank you. I'll have the totals for you in a minute.
That's number 8.
NSGRA now has 6 delegates.
Thank you.
Wade, would you like to start us out with a prayer this morning?
Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for this great time to come together as the IGRA family to take care of business, Lord. We pray that you would give us all clarity of mind. Let us agree to disagree when it's time. Come together to make the right decisions for IGRA today. Lord, we pray that you would also bless us, keep us, and guide us. Send us to our prospective homes safely, and let us go back with a renewed spirit to take IGRA where it needs to go. In Jesus' precious name we pray, amen.
Also, last year that was almost the same timing. Can all the veterans please stand? Thank you for your service. Lost Mr. Lawson. Oh. You're hiding. Yeah. We had, we're going to go back to rodeo rules. We had one missing item that didn't make it on the screen.
All right, so if you look at Rodeo Rule 51, just please read the top where it says, "Be it resolved, this proposal is adopted to supersede Rodeo Rule Proposal RR 23, accepted on convention floor during the committee report on Saturday, November 17th, 2018. So what happened, just to be clear, we're not sneaking anything in here. When we worked on this in committee, one disc was in the computer. I didn't know I had to tell it to eject before I just pulled it out, and then it erased everything. So I pulled out early. Anyway, it's all here now.
Any discussion? Number 2?
So the only thing I want to ask real quick, so it says host association will publish a listing, description of awards. And does that mean any added money or anything too at the 60 days prior?
This was specifically done since we're giving you the opportunity to do anything other. You can do buckles, gift cards, spurs, anything like that.
Okay, this is just the awards.
This is just the
Okay,
awards.
perfect.
So the intent on this is if you have a rodeo association, and we kind of joke that, okay, we're going to give Snicker bars instead of buckles. Okay, well, you need to publish that so that people have the choice of knowing, oh, I'm going to go to this rodeo, they're giving trucks. This rodeo is giving Snicker bars. So that's where it came from.
Please don't give Snicker bars.
King size.
Okay, any other discussion?
I was going to ask a question.
Oh, number 4?
Michael Brent, AGRA. With this, host association must publish a listing or description of events, awards, minimum 60 days prior to the open date of registration for the rodeo. That's right before Christmas with us. So would we be able to ask for a variance for this?
My understanding, you can ask for a variance for anything you want.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's as simple as posting it on your your rodeo website. So you just
60 days before open date of registration or registration on seats number 19.
Okay. 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 Number 10.
Yeah, this is one of those things that does affect the early rodeos every year, and Arizona gets it every year. You may already have on your website that you have award buckles, and even if you don't, if you just slip in there very quickly, and if you're planning to give buckles, then that's fine. Anyone who wants to give buckles can and should continue giving buckles. I think we had one association that mentioned they make a significant profit from giving buckles because they get sponsorships. They don't have any trouble selling their sponsorships, and so they feel it's an advantage to give buckles, and they like them. So if Arizona in particular just wants to pretty quickly add to their website, event buckles will be awarded for weekend event winners and all rounds, then they're covered. They don't have to say a whole lot here. One sentence could fix it for you.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Abstentions? Passes. And that completes rodeo rules. Okay, we have 65 voting delegates. Majority is 33 and 2/3 is 44.
For majority, 44 for 2/3. 65 total.
I think we'll go back to the women's outreach.
Good morning, everybody. All right, sorry I wasn't able to deliver this whole thing yesterday. Apparently I had the plague, but I'm feeling much better. There are a few things that weren't mentioned, so let me cover that. This year, women's outreach saw more success with women in general. We saw a lot of success with trans women coming into the community and feeling more loved and accepted and mentored through the women in general. We were very excited to see our first full Ms. IGRA team in 20 years. Thank you. There were Women of Rodeo pictures taken at every single rodeo this year. And also, more recognition went to our women's sponsors. These accomplishments speak to the need and gaining success of this committee. We do request, and it is in the bylaws, that each member association provide a Women of Outreach representative in their association. It builds our committee, and if we have a representative in each association, we can get a better idea of what each association needs. Last year, several emails went out asking for the same, and I wanted to thank NMGRA as well as GSGRA for being the only two associations that responded. When you look at the duties and responsibilities of the Women's Outreach Committee, there are a few things. We are charged with 3 things as a committee. The first is to develop and hold seminars, with preference to one being at university. The second is to develop and maintain a mentoring program for Women of Rodeo. And third, we're to create educational materials and promote the above. If we have a general idea of what's going on in each home association, we can get those things accomplished according to IGRA-wide and not just here at convention. This brings us to our action item. Apparently, lots of committee meetings can confuse people. And that's okay, because I get confused after 2 minutes anyway. The blonde maybe. But yesterday, there was a confusion that the committee had not voted on this action item. We met yesterday, and it was determined we had. We met at 10:30. This was presented to the committee, and a motion was brought forth by Missy LaFave, and it was seconded by Patrick Hunter. It was then voted after discussion. There were 7 yeas, 0 nays, 0 abstentions, and the motion passed to bring this to the floor. What we're looking at is in line with what the Women's Outreach Committee is charged to doing with building a mentorship program, is to have a mentorship award that's self-starting. And we can build programs all day long, but honestly, the biggest testimony that women in rodeo have, and even the men that support us, is word of mouth. You see somebody doing something by example, and you want to be like that person. And that's one good thing that I can say about IGRA as a whole on any level, is you look up to the people that are there to help people. What this is an award specifically for women's outreach. It can be a male or a female to win it, and it's specifically for women's outreach because we are charged to specifically start a mentorship program in women's outreach. One of the things that I've heard questions asked was, well, we have so many mentorship awards. I went through each and every award going through this, and there's a lot of awards for sportsmanship and things like that. However, I did not see not one special award that encouraged mentorship. This is why this award is important. The winner can be any recipient, or any winner can be male or female. It's not gender specific. Any male or female that supports Women of Rodeo. We have a lot of support from the men, a lot. We wouldn't have this committee without that. So I leave this to you. Okay. I have papers up there.
Number 11.
Roger Bergman, NGRA. I have a clarification question about the 4th line down where it says obtaining sponsorships. I mean, IGRA is looking for sponsorships overall. I think that you're looking for women contestant sponsorships. Am I interpreting correctly? What type of sponsorships?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's yours to answer.
One thing that we've worked really hard for is women that go above and beyond and do sponsorships. ILGRA is a good representation of that. There is a woman that is not involved in rodeo, but was very supportive of their royalty competition. So it's in general. So if you sponsor quite a bit of things, or if you go get more sponsorship, whatever encourages women of rodeo.
But is it sponsorships towards encouraging women to participate, or would it be like a sponsorship for IGRA in general?
It can be sponsorships for IGRA in general.
Okay, thank you.
Number 12.
Thank you. Amy Griffin Ilgra. As I pointed out yesterday, I'm not sure why this is necessary when we already have the international award that is extremely prestigious, and you know, if the international award could cover this, I'm not sure why we need to create an additional award.
Number 1.
Jack Morgan, CJRA. I'm very passionate about the relationship between men and women, and I'm going to try not to be as passionate today as I was, or maybe as emotional today as I was in Thursday's board meeting. I am against this. I think it causes division. I think it causes a separation. I'm very proud of what you've done on the committee, although I did not receive any communication for representation, so I will correct that statement that you made. So in the future, maybe you could be more accurate with your statements. I am very proud and honored to be a part of this organization. That it hit me how when people ask about the gay rodeo and what is so significant about it is that men and women compete equally in all events. And when someone said that in the board meeting, I had to stop and think, because that's the first thing how I describe IGRA. And to a lot of people, that means a great deal. To me, it means a great deal. And we have enough opposition between men and women outside of this organization, let alone within it. And I think adding any further evidence of divisiveness is against our goals, against the missions, against our rodeo family beliefs, at least it is against mine. And I just ask that that be taken into consideration for reference. Thank you.
Number 11.
Laura Scott and Jerry. Jack, I appreciate your comments very much. I just want to make a couple of quick points. This was a mentorship program, which we don't have, a mentorship award, which we do not have. This can be given to either a male or a female who mentors women in rodeo. And as much as I appreciate that we don't want to have this divisiveness, is there a need then for this, for women in gay rodeo? Because that question, what he's saying there, almost says that we shouldn't even have women of gay rodeo anymore. That's what it feels like as a woman.
Frank has an announcement.
If you could, when you're speaking using the microphone, please stand up. We have a camera over here that's trying to get it in everybody's heads in the way so that people at home can see who's speaking. Thank you.
Number 1 was next.
Tommy Channel, CGR. Absolutely, we need women in IGRA, without a doubt. I agree with the description on this 100% and admire you for bringing this to the floor. Thank you. I would just like to address your comment about reading the descriptions of all other awards, i.e. the International Award. I personally agree with this description, but would rather see the description perhaps amended of one of the existing awards to include this admirable effort.
Number 10.
Mike Lentz, Atlantic States. I want to speak in support of this award. Reviewing information about participation historically about 70% of our competitors were men. That number has actually been moving upward in recent times, and I think a good part of that is the attraction of women, a more welcoming environment. The photos for Women of Gay Rodeo, I'm not sure if you realize that, but just actually having someone pose in a photo and saying, you're a part of our group, we want to support you, draws them to future rodeos. So something like that effort does increase the number of women participating. We should be more inclusive. We should be evaluating what our underserved communities are, and we need to go out and offer more opportunities for those communities to participate. This is a community that we've done a good job with. We need to keep looking for more communities to help. I strongly support this, and I think it's a great idea. Thank you for bringing it forward.
Let's go 5 and then 1. Right there, Mips.
Brendan Dale, MGRA. Just to clarify, this award is based on anyone, male or female, supporting women's outreach, correct? And secondary, rumor has it that you have a sponsor for the next 5 years to pay for this, correct? Okay, that's my only thing. Just wanted to clarify. Thank you.
Mipsy, I forgot number 8. Let's do 8, and then we'll go back to 1 and then 11.
Hello, Trey Brubaker, North Star. I really want to echo what Tommy said. I think that's a nice compromise where we have a situation where we want to recognize people for this contribution to our organization. I really like that. At the same time, we have an award that's similar that I feel, yes, we need to recognize these efforts, absolutely. And in compromise of recognition, it makes it a little simpler. It's already funded. That could increase money coming into the organization as well. I would also like to second what Tommy's saying about possibly maybe amending the existing award, international award, to include women's outreach. It's part of everything we have. It should be in there.
Number 1.
John Beck, CGRA. After 5 years from the sponsor that's sponsoring it, who's going to be paying for this? Where's the money coming from? Where's the money going to pay?
Like the rest of the awards, it would be IGRA unless someone else sponsored it.
Responsibility, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Number 11, Mipsy.
Guy Puglisi and Jerry. So originally I was opposed to this, but if it's going to be, any member of IGRA is going to be eligible, I would support it, but I would like the standing rule to be specific to that fact. So I'm going to recommend that we add any before members, change members to member. So let me just read the whole sentence. So this award is to recognize any member of IGRA who has made. Tom?
Give us just a second. Refresh, please. Is that what you wanted? Okay, now we have, I think 9 was first on, is this on the discussion on the amendment? Okay.
Cody K, DSRA. Individuals are not members of IGRA. They're members of an association that is a member of IGRA. So I don't think that we can say that it's a member of IGRA.
Let's dot the I. Oops, you didn't put a comma there.
So are you wanting it for someone to be in and out of IGRA or only IGRA? Within a member association. So whenever you're a member of an association, you are a member of IGRA. Well, if you pay if they paid the dues, you are. You're not? Number one.
Tommy Channel, CGRI. I'd like to make an amendment that this description be added to the International Award.
Okay, wait, we were on that's out of order. We were on the first one. Okay. Yep. Turn him on. You turned on? You on?
Are we on? There we go. So it has been a bit ambiguous over the years or confusing over the years. Technically, IGRA, according to our bylaws, is an association of associations. So IGRA members with a capital M is all of our associations. That said, there is reference previously in the bylaws that put the word individual with a small m member, so individual member. And we've always taken that to mean those of us in the room here. So if we're okay with that verbiage, I would maybe add to Guy's amendment, any individual member of IGRA who has made contributions. Would that help clarify? Guy, you're okay with that? Without objection?
Refresh. Okay, so any more discussion on this amendment? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. Okay, hang on. Refresh.
Now?
Okay, now number one.
Okay, now I would like to make an amendment to add this to the description of the International Award. And what? He said, and why? Because I believe in this description, but I believe adding this title adds divisiveness to the organization. And the International Award is a prestigious award, very prestigious. And I would like to see this added to the International Award description.
There was a second by TGRA.
Making a motion to do something different with it, meaning move it to an entirely different place. I don't think you can do that, can you, Benjamin? I'm sorry, you can do it?
You can do it.
Okay, thank you.
Point of order, I believe that this is new business, that this is not part of the committee's report, and I wouldn't assume it's a recommendation they would make.
Proposals that come from committees come to this body for our action, whatever action that may be. We're not obligated to do anything that the committee wants or doesn't want. certainly if the committee members would it be opposed to that, to Tommy's change to move this to another area, they would be invited to speak against that change if they are against it. But the proposal does belong to this body currently. We're not obligated to follow what the committee has previously done, and it would not be under new business. It's proper to consider this now.
Number 5.
Curry Ragsdale, MGRA. I'm not speaking for or against this. I would just like to point out that this is an effort to start and increase a mentorship program for women. And I feel like if the description is added to another award, that doesn't mean there's going to be a recognition of this program each year.
You've accepted a second motion and a second on top of something that's being discussed, and you haven't moved it to the new. We don't see this second motion. I don't know of anywhere where you can have 2 active motions. You would have to vote the first motion down and then represent it, or I need to understand what we're doing.
All right.
Because it's not on the screen what we're doing.
Okay, it's probably my mistake, so hang on then.
Yeah, to Gene's point, so Tommy's motion was to move this, was generically or broadly to move this to another, to include this as another section. Before we would do very much, we would have to come up with that words and put it on this screen as an amendment to here. And that amendment would, whatever words Tommy wants to put in here as the proponent, would have to be, we would have to pull in section 5, which I've already started to do here, to see when and how that verbiage could be added in. But that's going to be a bit of wordsmithing. If you look at section 5, International Award in your big book, adding that verbiage, we do need to know what that specific verbiage is. Yeah. So the motion, the main motion on the floor right now is proposal, well, it doesn't have a number, but proposal Women's Outreach 01. That's the main motion on the floor. There was an amendment to that made by Guy, so we discussed the amendment, that passed, we went back to the main motion. Tommy has made a motion to amend this proposal. And the amendment of this proposal, keep in mind a proposal, he's not amending the verbiage, he's amending where it goes. And that's equally a valid motion to move the placement of something. It doesn't have to be just changing the words. Amending the proposal can mean moving it to a different section. That's an option as well as just changing verbiage.
Okay, well,
yeah.
That's not what I interpreted when he said make a motion. I didn't understand it as a motion to amend. And in
Right.
that case, we should stop discussion on the main motion.
Which we have.
That's what I said when it was my mistake, so we are
Okay.
stopping.
Okay, sure. Got to ask.
Okay. Okay, we're just going to take just a second. Are you, okay, so it's not really wordsmithing, it's just moving it, right? Tommy, are y'all, well, it's your motion, so you're going to have to come up with the verbiage on where you want it.
Now? Okay, so
Refresh, please. We'll see.
So what Tommy has said is what you see on the screen. Move this to section
Is that what
5.
you, is that what you want?
Okay, I would suggest then some wordsmithing would be award may recognize instead of, wait, is that, oh no, that's the original, okay. This down in this award may recognize, and then down there. I have no problem with the description at the bottom there being added, and then you would just change this award may recognize any individual, yada yada. Would that complete the thought?
Tommy, if you want to read Benjamin exactly what you want changed, we can change it.
Okay. Paragraph 2, change is to recognize, may recognize. Help me out, folks. Anything else there? This is just adding to that.
Refresh, please. Okay.
What are you telling me?
A cock. Hang on one second. And now they're calling for a cock to get the wording right. So you want her to talk first? All right. All right. I have 10-minute caucus. Be back at 9:55. Time's up. Please return to your seats. Okay, this is for you, Chris. What's the name of the latest gay sitcom? Leave it, it's Beaver. I'm going to step up my jokes today, okay? One quick announcement. DSRA has a 2019 Homo Rodeo calendar. 100% of the proceeds goes back to DSRA, so see Wes Gibbons. He has them with him. Also, don't forget to get your Christmas giveaway chances. They're also selling those at DSRA. Okay. Was there any other? Do we have it all? Number 1.
I don't know if this is appropriate time or not, Candy, but I'm just going to go ahead and say, I'm sorry, ladies. No disrespect was intended there at all. And based on the responses that I got from several people up here, I am rescinding my motion to amend in respect of the ladies.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So now back. Is there any objection to that? Okay, so give us just a second. Tom Sheridan? You just won a Wrangler gift card. Well, I'll tell you how this works. So you remember Laura and I got with Wrangler this year, and I asked her to bring the rest of the gift cards. And so she did, and just now I asked Erica to give me a number between 1 and 65, and she did. And Mr. Norman told us whose number that was. So we'll have a few more through the day. So the next time you see Tom, he'll be sporting a pair of $200 jeans. Thank you for bringing those, Laura. Okay, now, the original motion's back. And number 12.
Amy Griffin Ilgra, I would like to reiterate that the international award is all-encompassing. And I really think that this additional award is unnecessary because we already have the capacity to recognize people that make significant contributions in any of our areas via the international award.
Number 8. Mipsy right here. Jean.
Isn't this women's outreach? So I think we need it. It's for it's a mentorship for women. A man and a woman, either or, could win it. It's not saying they can't win it. It's just you're mentoring a woman. I think we need to build the women in the rodeo. So I think this fits actually with women's outreach. And this is the first mentoring award for IGRA.
Okay, the 10 minutes is passed. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Nay. The ayes have it.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, guys.
Did I miss any committee chairs? Is there any other unfinished business? Number 1.
Just real quick, I understand that there is an award that is going to be presented this weekend from that committee. Is that correct?
It won't be.
Okay, just checking.
Yep. Chris, it goes into effect January 1st, so it'll all be resolved. Any other unfinished business? Robert?
I'm just curious. With that being passed, part of the presentation was that somebody has already sponsored it for 5 years. Can we recognize them now?
Absolutely. Erica? Did she go? Nope, I know. Thank you for sponsoring that for 5 years. Okay, now we'll move into new business. You want to go to the first proposal? Any discussion? Number 4? This number 4, we have microphones somewhere?
Michael Brenny, GRA. What is the reason for removing this language about the limited rodeo? Does anybody know?
I do, so I'm going to step away as the president and now step in as a contestant. So Mary, you're going to take my place. Okay, so I'm going to passionately talk about this. Oh. Yes. Okay. Yep. So I believe that with our numbers now, we shouldn't be limiting. And I understand that y'all have a limit on stalls, but when I've come to your rodeo, I've stayed at places not. So I think that you could ask for a variance to only be able to house so many horses, but I think to limit it, there's places off your property, and it's even where it's limited to the people that live close to you. If they don't get entered in time and don't even stay there, they can't even compete at your rodeo. And to me, that skews the points because they can't even come compete with everyone else. So I think we've got to the time that we don't need to limit the rodeos, and we can get around the fact that you have limited stalls and you could ask for a limit of only being responsible for the 60 stalls or something like that, but I don't think we need limited rodeos at all.
10.
Michael Lance, Atlantic States. I don't think this rule currently is harming anything. It's only been used a few times, and it's been concentrated mostly in one location. I think the flexibility needs to be allowed. I do understand the idea that a variance could be requested, and so I want to make sure everyone here hears that in case this does pass, but I do think the idea of a limited rodeo should stay in the rules. It's not harming anything, so I would vote to oppose this. This proposal did fail in the Rodeo Rules Committee. I'm hoping it will fail here.
12.
Amy Griffin, Ilgra. If you don't want to limit your rodeo, then don't limit your rodeo. But it concerns me that passing this would tie the hands of our rodeo producing associations and limit their options. I'm with Mike. I don't think that the presence of this language as it stands is causing any harm. So I would urge us to keep the language in, even though it's rarely used. It's a safety net for places that have unusual situations.
4.
I totally agree. There's no reason to remove it because Arizona was mentioned. This is not specific for Arizona by any means. It could happen to any association at any time. And since Candy mentioned Arizona, I have to correct something. It's not because we don't have 60 stalls. We have 80 minimum, and we can have more if we need to. And I don't recall when this, before the previous rodeo directors first did it, there were not any horse contestants that were turned away. So, sorry.
Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. All opposed, say nay. Nay. Abstentions? Nays have it.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, say nay. The ayes have it. What do you call a bouncer at a gay bar? A flamethrower. Those are for you, Chris. It might have been Shatinkle, though. I'm just... Take a break. We're going to take a 15-minute break, so we'll be back at 10:25. That's good. Can everybody get back to their seats, please? Will you tell him? Please get back to your seats. What does Mipsy Michaels and the English muffin have in common? Lots of nooks and crannies.
Oh, not nice, lady. That was good.
Y'all do not know I have help with this, right? Oh, Bubba Crystalline. No. Oh, nope. Oh, nope. Sitting next to you, Buck Beal. Sorry. You need to knock him out of his seat. There you go, Buck. Congratulations. And thank you, Wrangler, for sponsoring all those. Okay, the next, you said 06? Oh, 3. We need to go back to 3. Nope, we passed that one. 06. Nope, it would be this one first? Okay. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Abstentions? Passes. Now we'll go to 04. Okay, sorry. Just hang. No, you've already passed it. I know we passed it. We're going back to the other one. It'll just give me just a second. Why should polygamy be legal? Any guy willing to take multiple wives is punishment enough. Well, you know, we are in Utah. Did everybody like the show last night? It was great. Okay. Scroll up just a little bit, Frank, so they can see. Whoop. There we go. Any discussion? It's all right. Number 1.
Robert Thurtell, CGRA. Just a point of clarification, probably for David, I guess. On D, where did the money go to prior to this? Yes. The IGRA contestant fund. So this would take it away from there and give it to the competitors, correct? As I'm reading it? Probably.
It was still going. It didn't change it, did it? It didn't change anything. No. Any other discussion?
Hold on.
Mitzi? Number 11, she's got the microphone.
Just that event buckles needs to be changed to event awards.
So noted. Number 13.
Sammy Simpkin, Red River Rodeo Association. There is in section E that has been added, exceptions will be made in cases of validated medical or veterinary emergencies.
No.
I'm looking at it right here. Oh.
Hey, do a refresh.
Hold on. I'm withdrawing my amendment.
Okay. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Passes. Okay, so that's all of rodeo, or all, oh, okay, so that's all the proposals in new business, I believe. Okay. So for the okay, so Jack, where did Jack go? So did y'all want to talk just a minute about, we'll go into convention, the 2019, did you want to say anything? I did too, but he's afraid, I think.
I'm definitely not, you know me, I'm definitely not afraid. All I wanted to say is we had a board of directors meeting just last Saturday, and then we had a charity benefit on Sunday. So we didn't have a chance, I didn't have a chance to put any formal information together, but we would like to put in a bid for a 2019 convention. We will have that for the board of directors to be presented at the board of directors meeting in Phoenix in February. Traditionally, CGRA has hosted every 5 years. This will be our 5th year since we did it. And we're looking to do, if we win the bid, a couple of special things, little different things as well, and kind of incorporate a couple different committees into a special evening as well. So that will all be included in the proposal as well. I appreciate your consideration. Thank you so much.
I know. So they will be presenting, I think, the full proposal to the board at our February board meeting. And next is Tom Sheridan for ILGRA. Mipsy, behind you.
Tom Sheridan, ILGRA. Thank you, Jack, for that. I know that the convention floor is looking to go back to 2 years out. So we would like to announce our intention at the Illinois Gay Rodeo Association to bring convention back to the 25th year anniversary of the ILGRA Association having convention in the Windy City in 2020. We will put that bid together, and we are going to have an incredible show for you at the Denver convention. But we wanted to announce our intention at this point. We've already started working on it.
Tom, you don't have to wait till the convention. Okay. Okay. Sam, do you have anything for the screen other than, or you may just make the announcement about the 2019? No. Okay. All right. So this next year we're going to Scottsdale, and I welcome everyone to join us to help out. There's already got a great team in place. It's a beautiful facility. We have a hotel. Is it within walking distance? I believe it's pretty close. Half mile. There is, trailer hookups for the horse people. We have a nice hotel. The facility, I don't even know that you have to go outside other than to get to your trailer. So we look forward to everybody joining us for the 2019 World Gay Rodeo Finals in Scottsdale, Arizona. Number 9.
Lisa, DSRA, can you tell us how much the hotel rooms rates will be? Hotel room rates? Since y'all have already had the contracts, right?
Yep, I signed everything.
So we can start planning?
Yep.
129 plus tax?
Which is for that area is a good price. Number 11.
Yesterday in my report, I actually did not announce this, but for the 2019 World Gay Rodeo Finals, our rodeo director will be Mr. Buck Beal, and our committee chair is Sammy Simpkins.
Congratulations, Buck. So this year, Sam will be looking for the 2020 venues. So any of you associations that are interested in helping out, get with Sam. He'll be looking at different venues for 2020. So if you're interested in helping out, again, I implore you to contact Sam. Was there any, I skipped this, I've been scolded. Was there any other interest in 2019 or 2020 convention? Okay. I think that's the first time Michael scolded me this weekend. I think we'll go to elections now. Number 11.
Jeffrey Neal, Chair of the University Committee. I just want to remind all the associations, if you are considering the bids for convention, considering the activities for finals and the planning, if you would also let me know if your association is considering bidding for University of 2020. I have until the February board meeting to present something to the board so that we can get that locked in. It'll be 9 months away at that point. So please see me this weekend if you are also considering a bid for the 2020, that's January, Martin Luther King weekend, 2020. for hosting university.
Thank you. Amy? Hall of Fame?
Really? Before lunch? Really?
Well, I was,
You need to give me a few minutes. I need to get my ducks in a row. Here, Doug. Here, Doug. Quack, quack.
well, he, one that switched me to,
What do you want me to do?
Yep. No, that will. Okay, then we're gonna. What time is lunch? We'll have to ask
11:30.
Kevin. Yes, we can do elections next, but I was told to do Hall of Fame next, so I guess we'll move back to elections. Okay. All right, so okay. So then we're going to move to the election of executive officers. So Frank?
First order of business is to call for any additional nominations for the office of president. All right, seeing none, then the nominations are closed. Yeah, I do have one volunteer so far to help. Mipsy is going to help, but I need 2 more people. Non-voting people have to help. If you're voting, you need to be sitting at your table. Patrick can help. And thank you. Oh, you have a question? I'm sorry. Yes, Roger.
Roger Bergman, NGRA. Maybe I'm stepping in a little early, but I want to be sure that you at least offer the candidates an opportunity to speak.
Oh, that's right. Thank you. I forgot about that part. Let's see. The first nomination I had was Robert Thurtell. So, Robert, would you like to come up and speak for a few minutes?
So we're discussing 5 or 10 minutes how long I get to talk. Those of you know me that know I'm kind of winded sometimes, but can I get volume so I don't have to lean? Thank you. Is that okay? Is that better? Excuse me. So I had typed good afternoon, but I need to start by good morning because we're before lunch. I stand here before you today asking for your vote as oh, thank you. Appreciate that. For your vote as the president of the International Gay Rodeo Association. As I prepared this speech to talk to you today, I struggled with just where to begin. I told myself, everyone knows you. What do you have to explain?
After all, I've been around since 1993. I've been involved with the Colorado Gay Rodeo Association for 25 years. 25 years. 11 of those years, I've served as the president of CGRA in some form or fashion. 6 years as the member association of Northern Colorado. I was a founding member and founding president. Later went on to the Colorado Gay Rodeo Association at the state level, where I spent 6 of the last 8 years as president. The 2 years that I took off, I was the World Gay Rodeo Finals Director of 2015, and I was the committee chair in 2016. But then I thought, no, maybe they really don't know me, and that's where I decided to start. Where am I pointing this to? I was born in Norfolk, Virginia in 1959, but moved to Colorado shortly thereafter. Right? Really old, big baby. My father passed away going on 5 years ago. My mom's still alive, living in Greeley, Colorado. I've lost an older sister at the age of 31 to a brain aneurysm. I still have a brother and a younger sister. You may already be wondering where I'm going with this. Family is very important to me. Not only my family, but this rodeo family means a lot to me. I was born in December. I'm a Sagittarian. Both my mother and father are Sagittarian. Natural born trait is a leadership. So sometimes you see me on this floor, perhaps argumentative, I blame them. I want to read something that my mom put together a while back. She did this for me, my brother, my sister. She did it on Mother's Day. And I think it relates to us here and what we're doing. But this is what she wrote about me in my scrapbook. I admit that I worry at times because the world has changed so much since you were born. Many of the choices you've had to make have been more difficult than those I faced when I was your age. I haven't always agreed with your decisions, but I hope you know that I respect your courage and independence in making them. You're doing all you can to be the person you want to be, and I admire that. Thank you, Mom, for those words, and I think it goes to this organization. I graduated high school in 1978. I was, back then at my little small town high school, on the student council and student body for 4 years. My senior year, I was head boy, if they only knew now, or knew then what they know now. It's also referred to as the student body president. I was also the drum major. I married to Yvonne Fox in 1985, later divorced, spent the next 17 years with my life partner, Chris Moore. He also rodeos on our circuit. Okay, so maybe not life partner, but we're still best of friends. I have 2 beautiful daughters, Nicole and Tiffany, 6 grandchildren, Hayden, Tegan, Bentley, Tori, and I know you've probably seen, and waiting for the new version, the 2 twins, Paxton and Paisley. I've been a businessman and an entrepreneur most all my life. I've owned restaurants, bars, remodeled houses, landscaping companies, and today I own a trucking company. So you may have heard, we're going to skip that part for time. So there's a little bit about me, something you may not have known. But I do believe that it's important that you know something about the individual you're electing to lead you and your organization. I'm just a good old boy, down-to-earth, redneck cowboy, not the greatest of competitors, but I'm capable of holding my own. I'd give you the shirt off my back, but don't steal it from me. I'm as honest as the day is long. It would never deceive you or anyone else for personal gain. I've worked hard all my life, and I truly feel that what I've earned, every bit of what I have. I believe that anything is possible if we simply work together as a team to achieve those. So let's build on that. This organization and this weekend, we've talked, we've listened, we've heard a lot of things. We've seen a really rough past 13 months, really rough. We went through the removal of a president, an appointment of another, moving of the World Gay Rodeo Finals. We had a drop in contestant participation. We were down almost 35% this year over previous years. World Gay Rodeo Finals struggled to fill the top 20. First time in a long time. We have some issues, we have some problems. I'm sorry, we, as an organization, had to go through that. Some of it was unnecessary, perhaps even uncalled for. Actions have consequences, and this is where leadership is the key. Sir Winston Churchill once said, "We talk about history as if it's something in our past, yet we fail to see that we are making history today." I challenge each of you in this delegation not to forget the past, but to begin making our own history as of today. Back in July at Rocky Mountain Regional Rodeo, I had the pleasure and opportunity to sit down and listen with some really great individuals. I think it's when it hit me. They were just like I was 20 plus years ago, talking for 2.5, 3 hours. The excitement, the enthusiasm that they had. I was so pleased that night to be a part of their conversation. I teamed up with a newbie at that rodeo. We did wild drag together. We went on later to do wild drag at Kansas City and also at finals. These people showed me the rejuvenation of what I thought and what I've heard from others that may be gone. It's not gone, it's there. But we need to listen to it, and we fail to do that sometimes. I watched for this organization for many years, constantly tear itself apart. We've managed to get rid of more good people than what we've managed to keep. Why? Because we don't listen to what they're having to say. I promise you that I will listen. I promise you that we will cherish where it is that we have come from, but all the while looking forward and adapting to the future. As I look around this room, I see a whole lot of future. We also tear ourselves apart as if none of us have feelings. We do. Some of us, our heart is in this and has been for many, many, many years. We spend countless hours on trying to reprimand others, trying to climb some ladder that just doesn't exist. I challenge you that if we spent the same effort and energy in promoting ourselves and the camaraderie of this rodeo family, a togetherness that you will not find on any other circuit, we would surely become better and bigger. So how do we do that, you say? Oops. Frank, I'm out of line here. Can you blow that up on the screen? I want to touch on just a few things, some ideas, some philosophies and places I feel that we need to start with. But these are just my ideas. Remember, I said I want to listen. I want to earn your respect and not just assume that it's there. I want to unite us. We need to follow the principles of this organization. When bylaws are written, as we've spent all weekend doing, if there's a gray line and it's left up for interpretation, I'm a firm believer that it's written wrong. It needs its clarity prior to. Retention of members and member associations. Not only retaining them, but developing active members out of that retention. We need to build on that. Build on strengthening our certified officials program. We have a couple categories that are very low, very short-handed on, and it could potentially create some problems going down the road for rodeos. Not only building our contestant base, we're working on that, but we need to build our fan base, those who are following us, those who are sitting in the seats, those who want to come and watch what we're doing. You will probably see at Rocky Mountain Regional Rodeo this next year in July that we will do a live stream feed on YouTube with ads and sponsors sponsoring that live stream feed. There's some talk in that now. This is what I'm talking about, increasing that fan base. Royalty. You go through all this training, all this education, everything you do, all the money that you raise for us. These individuals are our future. These are the people that will be standing here or sitting here where Candy is in the future. These are the individuals that will lead this organization going down the road. They need our full support. That's future building. Future building also to me is something very, very important because we need to build the future, not just next year what we're doing. Where is IGRA in 5 years from now? What's our goal in 10 years from now? Do we have a platform and an idea of where to go forward? Marketing. Huge, huge, huge. We have got to market ourselves. After World Gay Rodeo Finals, I walked out of McCarran Airport there in Las Vegas. I was having a cigarette. I'm just standing there. It's all over. The rodeo's over. Getting ready to fly home, having my cigarette before I get off the plane. Yes, I know I need to quit. Couple of gals, women standing next to me, and she goes, "Oh, you're with the Gay Rodeo." And I'm thinking, oh God, it's not that obvious, is it? Anyways, we got to talking. She goes, "No, I recognize the IGRA on your buckle. It's out there. People do see it and do know it. Unfortunately, I think some of that is only recognized by those who have been involved with us. So we need to market ourselves to those who have not. If I was to put a swish on there or a couple of golden arches, you would know instantly what it is. If we put the IGRA logo up there, we need people to also know immediately what that is. Marketing is huge. You may remember this campaign. World Gay Rodeo Finals. We started that campaign and these types of advertisements in July for an October Finals. Marketing is huge. This was a huge success for IGRA when we came up with this marketing. Thank you, Judy Munson in Canada and Heather Murray for designing this, coming up with it. We pushed it, we pushed it, we pushed it. So again, like I said, marketing is absolutely huge. We are who we are. And some of you may sit there and question who we are. We are the International Gay Rodeo Association. We need to promote that and promote the things that we do as a charitable organization. What is it we stand for? Each of you sitting in this room have your idea and your opinion of what it is we are and what it is we stand for. I want to listen to those things and know what it is. We need to be united and not divided. All of these things take money. I understand. I will not go into the Club One project. Some of you have seen that on a Facebook post. Amazing conversation. If you read and listened between the lines what people were saying. I listened to what they were saying. But without ideas, which is what that was, without the ideas, how will we be making history today? Unity, strength, and most of all, leadership. It's all I've done my whole life. That's what I have to offer. That's what I have proven. There are many of you in this room who have for years pushed me and prodded me along, who have pushed and pushed, "Robert, we need you. Please run for president." Well, I'm here, and I'm asking for your vote. No more division. No more decisions that literally tear us apart. Together we can strengthen and build this great organization, and I thank you.
Wow, I haven't been nervous all weekend, and now I am. This is, I know, but this is like going in for the barrel race. I'm sorry, but. No, I think, can y'all hear me?
Let's use the red mic.
Okay. First of all, I want to thank you all for the opportunity this past 13 months in leading such a great organization. As I stated when I opened the convention, is that evening that everything changed in my world. You know, I didn't know it was going to happen. But I've been pushed into what I considered a great role in my life, and I truly thank you. It's made me step up my abilities as a manager at work and, as I call, a manager of IGRA. All year long, I think that I've been involved in all aspects of IGRA. I try to travel to every rodeo I can. I'm involved in everything I can. When I go back to saying that I think that I have a little ability to be an experienced leader, is for years I've put on barrel races, I've put on rodeo schools, I've been a manager for 30 years of my life. And whenever I started in IGRA in 1988, I was a wide-eyed girl that didn't know that anybody else was gay. And I found a home where I could be myself, and so many of us said that you know, we went to IGRA rodeos so that we could be ourselves, but because we couldn't be ourselves at home. It was many, many years later that I came out to my family, and then they give you that line, "Oh, we knew it all along," and you know, you're like, well, couldn't you have told me like 10 years prior? Yeah. So, you know, I think that I've developed myself through this year. I've noticed a huge change in myself as well. And I find myself striving for more and more and better and better. And I think whenever you, the royalty, MIPSI can say something, or the TGRA people can say something. I simply went to support a royalty candidate the other night, and those of you, I apologize for the video. It wasn't planned, and I didn't have the opportunity of what I was going to wear. But then again, I step out of my comfort zone. It happened to me a couple of years ago, and I think to myself, which is more important, the money that I'm raising for charity, or, you know, somebody seeing me in a dress, so. But I think that's an easy decision. It's been an easy decision for me, and I always appreciate y'all involving me. So I want to say thank you to the royalty team for doing that to me, because you made me step out of my comfort zone, but I didn't mind it at all. Like I said, I started in 1988. I was just a competitor for a long time. Then I started delving into being more involved in IGRA. I was a member of, at the time, I think it was OGRA, and then joined TGRA. I was the president a few years of TGRA, and then founded Red River Rodeo Association. You know, and I've always had a partnership. Most of the time I'm a member of both TGRA and Red River, and anybody else that'll have me. But I found a partnership with the other Texas organization. You know, people try to put divide in things, and I don't see a divide. I see my friends, I see my competitors, I see a great way for us to be a bigger, I don't know, put on a bigger event. You know, whenever we joined together to put on the last few rodeos, and I didn't mind helping them at all, so I saw that divide go away right immediately. So to that, I say that I switched to saying that the rodeo is my family. If you notice, when we go to these rodeos, it's more of a family atmosphere. That is my family. All of you in this room, I consider my family, because where do I spend most of my time? At all your rodeos and with all of you. We have so many times that we we forget and don't take enough time for that, but I hope that I always do. I try to spend as much time with our rodeo families as I can. This year, these past 13 months, I would consider successful. I mean, what was handed to me wasn't the best, and I did the very best I could to join us together, pick up the pieces, move forward, try to get rid of the divide that everyone talks about all the time, and I hope that I've successfully done some of that. We did get through a struggle with the finals, but ended up having a successful finals. So I would hope that, in my mind, this last 13 months for me has been successful. So going forward, what do I see us doing? Well, I haven't thought about a strategic plan. I started it, and then I thought, well, wait, I've got to see if I'm going to be the person leading this ship. So we've talked about it, and I plan on modernizing our software, our resources, our electronic forms, our website. We've already started the social media. We've done a huge platform in social media, and that's really put IGR out there more than it's been in the past, and so we want to continue that. I want to promote the Western lifestyle beyond rodeo. I want to get back the dance competitions, trail rides, vacations, campouts. We don't just have to be rodeos. We can do much more. There's so many of us that do things outside of just the rodeos. There's no reason we can't develop this to more events that IGRA does. I think that we should do membership drives. We do it all the time at our rodeo schools. I suggest that every association do it, and I'll be happy to help anybody that wants help with it. Rodeo production. I plan to have another little subcommittee on rodeo production to help out the ones that struggle with the lengthy rodeos. There's a way to speed up your rodeo, and there's ways that many of us that have the experience that put on a very successful rodeo can help the rodeo associations where they have problems and their rodeos drag out and they lose their spectators. So what we can do is help out with that and get your rodeo functioning in a quick manner, efficient, where your spectators want to come back the next day. This year I saw a great improvement in the stock and the stock contractors. I think that we're on the right path of less major injuries, and the quality of stock contractors that are working with our people in our rodeos, the camaraderie with the stock contractors. And I know of 4 different ones that told us that they enjoyed our rodeos more than the straight rodeos. So I think we're on the right path there, and I want to help out with that with anybody, any rodeo associations that need help with that. I want to thank my partner. I didn't think I was going to do this. Doreen and I will be celebrating 26 years this next year, so I think I know about commitment. Between Doreen and Murmur, they take a lot of brunt of my frustrations. There is down moments to this job. I'm not gonna lie to anyone. You're not bulletproof. I'm human. But I talk to so many of my friends, Jean, Robin, Sam. Thank you for your support and listening to me when I'm having down moments. But I couldn't do it without all of y'all, because this is not a one-man show. It's a job, and I appreciate y'all allowing me, and I would appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Candy. Let me remind everybody now, I stated this yesterday, but just a reminder, all the voting delegates, they are the only ones that will receive a ballot, and they must be sitting at their association's table. So make sure you stay in place at least until we get the ballots distributed and collected. All set? Okay, and I'll meet the volunteers at the back of the room and we'll pass out ballots. Do we have everyone's ballot? Okay, one last chance. We got to have everybody's ballot now. Are there any other ballots? Hold your hand up if you still have your ballot. Thank you.
Sandy? Congratulations. Now I know why Mipsy put this up here earlier for me. Did anybody catch Robin in her boxer shorts last night? It's on Facebook because she went down to get a little bit of toilet paper. So, do we go ahead and start on? Yep, okay, we'll wait. Was there other new business? Okay. Number 11.
Roger Berkman, NGRA. I'd like to bring BL4 back up for reconsideration. I did vote in favor of it, but at the time I voted, I thought I was only voting for a change regarding the Ethical Practices Review Board, and it seems other people were confused about it as well. Do I need a second, or?
All right, the motion, Roger's motion is to reconsider BSR 04, and I guess it was seconded. The process for this, whatever the outcome, the process is a motion to reconsider, as Roger said, must be made by somebody who voted on the prevailing side. So in this case, somebody who voted for BSR 04, so that's, that is in order for Roger to do that if he voted in favor of it. And the process is a vote, debate, and vote on the motion to reconsider. Not on the original proposal, but on the motion to reconsider. So the motion on the floor would be, shall we reconsider BSR 04? Bylaw standing rules. Yeah. So, and you don't need to pull it up right now. Well, I guess you could put it up there if you want, but we're not debating BSR 04 right now. It's only shall we reconsider BSR 04, and it would be simple. I'm sorry, I'll look at the threshold for that for the vote, and the standard 10 minutes discussion minimum.
Number 7.
Brian Helander, NMGRA. I think it's important to reconsider this proposal. I think there's a lot of confusion, misunderstanding about the net effect of the changes to the organization. I'm not saying I'm in favor of or against the proposal. I am in favor of taking a close look at it.
Number 13.
Doreen Rue, Red River. I am not in favor of bringing it back to talk about. If we do, obviously I participate in that as well. But my reason is that there was opportunity for people to express their concern. And as I sat through 2 days of convention, the work that is done in the committee and the opportunity that each association has to participate and to have that information, and then the people that did attend those committees, whatever they are. I'm not really just talking about bylaws, but all of the committees. We have a responsibility to go back to our membership and our delegates and talk about what the ramifications of any change that we made. And I saw that happen throughout the day. I'm unaware of anything that came from committee that didn't get approved. So I'm not in favor of bringing it back.
Number 8.
Trey Brubaker, North Star. I also am in favor of this. I feel that anytime we have a chance to make sure that we're making the path for next year clear, this is I'm not sure one way or the other either, but I do recall a lot of confusion when we went. We went through them pretty quick, and that's on us for not reading quickly and stopping it right away. I haven't gone through it all either, but I do remember scrolling through that right after this motion, and I just want to make sure we did the right thing. And when I heard fellow delegates saying, whoa, I didn't understand that, I think we should have taken a step and said, let's make sure we're making the right decision. This does affect our organization as a whole, and let's just make sure we get it right.
Number 3.
Stephen Guidry, GSGRA. I'm in favor of reconsidering this, and for the same reason, just to get more clarification on what this entails.
Any more discussion on the bringing this back? Okay, so we're simply voting on bringing it back. So all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Nay. I believe it's a nay, but they're calling for a hand. Okay. So all those in favor of bringing it back, raise your hand. Okay, you can put your hand down. All opposed, raise your hand. Okay, we're gonna reconsider it. Okay, so now the business now is DSR 04. What? Okay. He's saying it's just simple. Oh, he said. Guy, Benjamin says motion to reconsider is just majority. Simple majority. Number 7? Yes, you can't. Well, okay. The results was 32 to 30. Oh. The what? Oh, I'm sorry. Wait a minute, we're in the middle of this first. Okay, and lunch too, so. Okay, so, and they did. Okay, all right, the motion on the floor is to vote the BSR 04 just like we did yesterday. So now we've called for a caucus. And so, all right. And then we have lunches right now. We expect lunch at 2, so. The other thing is 11:30. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to recess and y'all can caucus during lunch if someone wants to do that. Okay? Any objection to that? Okay. If it's just results, yes, hang on. Oh, okay. All right. Gosh, I got kicked off. Okay.
I thought a certain person had to announce the results, but I was wrong. I can do it. Your president for the next 2 years is Candy Pratt.
Thank you all. Now I feel like when after the barrel race. Okay, so we're gonna, what? No, oh. Okay, so we have a motion to recess for lunch. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. All right, so we're going to lunch.
Just one announcement for everybody. Our silent auction is going to close at 2 o'clock. So if you want to get in on it, please do.
Everybody back in? Okay, we're going to move to Hall of Fame. Whoop, but I don't see Amy now. Okay. What do you call a cowboy with a bad case of gas? Oh, that was better than the punchline. I'm just going to leave that one. That was good. It was true, too. Amy?
favor and unpack my little box? Thank you. Usually we do this in alphabetical order, but we're going to switch things up a little bit today because of logistics. So first I'd like to invite Candy Pratt.
Jeannie McLeod has loved TGRA, IGRA since her first rodeo as a spectator in 1988. She joined action in the following year as a member and ran for Miss TGRA in 1990 and won the title in 1991. It was a very difficult time back then. Many were passing from HIV/AIDS at an outrageous pace. She became passionate about the cause and has worked diligently to help others ever since. Born in San Antonio, Texas, she was not raised around rodeos or horses. After earning her degree at Trinity University in 1984, she had the good fortune to attend a horse auction in conjunction with the San Antonio Rodeo. An adult beverage may have been involved, of course, and she left the event with a horse and nothing else. No trailer, no stable. You get the point, right? Thanks to the love and support of many forever friends and TGRA and IGRA, she worked her way into being a volunteer both inside and outside of the arena. Since 1990, she has served in numerous TGRA administrative roles, both in San Antonio and Austin, on the chapter and state levels. She served as TGRA president for 5 years. Jeannie received the TGRA Founders Award in 1995 and was subsequently named to the TGRA Hall of Fame in 1998, which is the highest honor that you can be given to a member, an accolade that she will always cherish. At the IGRA level, she became a certified shoot coordinator in 1996 and eventually an arena director in 2001. Jeannie is still an active arena director today and has chaired the arena director committee on multiple occasions. She also served as an IGRA trustee from 2005 to 2007 and has served as TGRA delegate at the IGRA convention numerous times. None of this would have been able to continue for so long without the love and support of her soulmate, Denise. Since 1999, Denise held on for a ride of her lifetime. They survived the battle with Denise's breast cancer diagnosis in 2008. It was one of the first times Jeannie did not feel bulletproof. Fast forward 10 years, and they're still fighting the good fight. In their time off, they both love spending time at home with their fur babies, Hershey, Benny, Elvis, and Humphrey. Jeannie McLeod has been able to check off a lot of bucket list goals through her involvement with TGRA and IGRA, eventually culminating in this great honor today. Everyone welcome Jeannie McLeod.
Thank you very much, Candy, and welcome to the fold, Jeannie. Mr. Bergman, would you take the podium, please? Sorry, no, not you. Sorry, not you. Ron Trusley? I know, I'm like, what the hell?
Contestant 4181, Dan Iverson. Born on September 12th, 1954, Daniel Iverson and his 4 siblings were initially raised. Born on September 12th, 1954, Daniel Iverson and his 4 siblings were initially raised on a large ranch in Murdo, South Dakota, by their parents, Dale and Dolores. That same ranch was originally homesteaded in 1904 by a Danish immigrant who just happened to be Dan's grandfather. His dad liked competing in Baja racing and local hobby stock car races, where he won several national titles. His mom loved to sew, and longtime I-Jury members may remember hearing that she found the time to support her gay son by sewing the rodeo official's vest for the first several years of Arizona gay rodeos. The values of hard work, competition, volunteerism, tolerance, and acceptance would stick with Dan in the years to follow. During his 4 years at Myrtle High School, Dan was the student manager of all the school's sports teams and won the School Spirit Award his senior year. He graduated from Black Hills State College, now State University, with a degree in travel industry management, and in his spare time was a member of the National Phi Sigma Epsilon fraternity, Phi Delta chapter. He served as president of the fraternity in his junior and senior years. After moving to Mesa, Arizona at the end of 1980, Dan put his travel and hospitality degree to work for the next couple of decades, mostly in various positions for the Holiday Inn Corporation. He also merged his previous Midwestern country lifestyle with the newly out group of gay friends while discovering gay rodeo. Dan traveled to a couple of CGRA rodeos and discovered the large gay crowds at one of the original Reno National Gay Rodeo annual events. Dan traveled to the Reno event with a new gay black friend, a first for him, by the name of Maury Carter, or Miss Ebony. He was introduced to yet another gay experience that weekend when Maury turned himself into longtime Phoenix favorite drag queen, Miss Ebony, during the first night of rodeo. Miss Ebony would go on to win the title of Miss Reno National Gay Rodeo that weekend. Dan will tell the story of how overwhelmed he was with the entire weekend of new experiences. Somehow we think he managed to pretty quickly embrace the newness and carry on. Tolerance, acceptance, and that team spirit again. Of all the awards Dan would go on to win over the next years, he's probably had the most fun with the series of I-Jury convention declarations. Thanks, Amy. They're always in fun and always titled along the lines of Most Spirited Hospitality Award winner, competition, volunteerism, team spirit, Dan's a giver. Dan started his gay rodeo years both in the arena and in the meeting rooms, as well as being involved in outside related groups. A founding member of HRA in 1984, he was also the Arizona Fundraising and PR Director in 1986-87, and he would be the Vice President by 1988. He was IJRA Rodeo Rules Committee Vice Chairperson and Chairperson starting in 1987 and continuing on for a number of years through 1994. In the arena, Dan has won over 30 buckles in team events, including 5 I-Jury goat dressing buckles. He won his first I-Jury championship buckle in 1988 with his longtime friend and roommate, Greg Olson. Dan and Greg also were the first to come up with the concept of wearing matching team shirts, polka dots for them. Along with added team member Donna Bell, they won the very first wild drag race buckle ever presented at the Dallas Rodeo in 1986, which was actually the start of the I-Jury's 1987 rodeo year. That was also the very first time Dan and Donna had ever won gay rodeo buckles of any type. That team would go on to win numerous I-Jury champion buckles through the 90s. And again, in his spare time, Dan was a founding member of another group of gay people interested in the country lifestyle called the Arizona Wranglers Association. His love of classic collectible cars, and he currently owns several of them, caused him to join fellow car enthusiasts in the central Arizona region of the Lambda Car Club. He also joined gay square dance groups, the Midnight Ramblers, Desert Valley Squares, and Sunburst Squares. In the 1990s and 2000s, Dan was still competing a bit in the arenas, but he devoted most of his time to the boardrooms. In both Phoenix and the Tucson chapters that was active at the time, Dan was repeatedly elected to serve as vice president, president of Phoenix, and president of the state, IGRA trustee, and as rodeo director 4 times, with the 5th time as a co-rodeo director, including a finals rodeo director spot. He's been at every IGRA convention except the first 2 as either a delegate or an alternate. For the last decade, Dan, now retired from the Holiday Inn Corporation, bought and runs a motel back home in Myrtle. The Iverson Inn is a seasonal business and also basically one-person business, a responsibility that keeps him away from Phoenix more often than he used to be. If he's not checking in guests or doing laundry, Dan is making or planning on the following year's season. This was also the general time period when Dan lost his father, and he became the primary caretaker for his mother, along with the help of 2 of his sisters. He lost his mother in January of 2018, and a 3rd sister in July of the same year. So while not able to commit to year-round board positions any longer, Dan still finds ways to be involved and keep giving. A longtime collector of really anything interesting to him, Dan might qualify for pack rat status. He has also been an enormous presence in the collection of AGRA's historical archives. He's been an ongoing supplier of all things AGRA and gay rodeo in general, as well as a major provider of institutional knowledge and memories. AGRA would not have had the extensive archives that we do now without Dan's support and contributions. Along with 3 other longtime AGRA members and friends, Dan became part of the self-titled gang of 4, which quickly became fitting the Golden Girls. Working together, they coordinate and run the yearly AGRA booth at every rodeo and find additional ways to help out as needed. So much help, in fact, that they were recognized for their efforts by being selected as the AGRA Rodeo Grand Marshals in 2013. Dan also continues to contribute in monetary ways, from advertising and champion memberships to package sponsorships, ribbons, and buckles. Dan continues to give to gay rodeo. He's a longtime regular sponsor of the annual Greg Olson Memorial Award buckle, and he helps others be able to contribute by co-sponsoring things with other individuals and groups, such as the above-mentioned Golden Girls. Dan has been recognized over the years with numerous honors, including Roadrunner Regional Rodeo, which is now Arizona Gay Rodeo, Grand Marshal twice, and a 3rd time with the Golden Girls. AGRA's Member of the Year twice. On the international level, he's received an IGRA President's Award, Director's Award, International Award, and numerous Trustees Awards. He's surprised, thrilled, and humbled to even be considered for this ultimate honor of being added to the IGRA Hall of Fame. At the time of his induction into the Hall of Fame, Dan splits his time between Phoenix and Myrtle, South Dakota. Join me in congratulating Dan Iverson as the new inductee into the Hall of Fame.
Jack Morgan, contestant 7242, was born and raised in the Metro Denver area, the youngest of 4 children. He is fortunate that although there was a short adjustment period to understand his sexual orientation, he has and has always had an amazingly supportive family, as well as an incredible network of long-term friends and rodeo family. Jack was introduced to gay rodeo in the late 1980s by Jerry Cunningham, who was like a brother to Jack. In fact, when Jack and Jerry were young and pretty, they actually modeled together for several years. Jack's initial volunteer experience was at Rocky Mountain Regional Rodeo 6, 30 years ago. Jack has been a member of Colorado Gay Rodeo Association ever since. During subsequent years, Jack and his best friend Larry spent a lot of time volunteering in the Denver gay community, assisting in a multitude of ways with a plethora of community organizations, including LGBT youth groups, CAPS, CAP, Meals on Wheels, as well as the HRC, where they were table captains for many years. Jack loves to dance, and in the early 1990s, became a member of Charlie's Country Cloggers team, traveling throughout the U.S., performing at rodeos and other events, including Aspen Ski Week, which remains one of Jack's fondest memories of that period. In 1997, Jack relocated to Minnesota with his work as a regional director for Just for Feet. Knowing no one in the Twin Cities area, Jack sought out the local country bar, where he soon met the Dark Crevice, who introduced him to the North Star Gay Rodeo Association. Jack quickly became involved with NSGRA, participating in many ways, including a stint as the secretary of their board of directors. DOT actively encouraged Jack to fulfill his desire to become a certified official as an IGRA rodeo judge. Jack entered the judge program in the early part of this millennium and was mentored by 2 people that he now considers sisters, Amy and Rick. In 2002, Jack had the opportunity to move home to Denver, where he became active with CGRA once more. That homecoming was short-lived, however, as Jack's career took him back to Minnesota in 2004, where he again became involved with the NSGRA and rejoined their board of directors. In 2006, Jack's job as director of retail operations for Yankee Candle took him to the Washington, D.C. area, where he quickly joined and became involved with the Atlantic States Gay Rodeo Association. It was during this time that Jack met his great friend Scott, with whom he would spend weekends dancing the nights away at Remington's on Capitol Hill. In 2010, thanks to his close friend Paul, he has lots of close friends, Jack had the opportunity to move home to Denver again, which he happily jumped at. What do you suppose happened once Jack was home in Denver? Yep, right back into a whirlwind of activity with CGRA. Jack has held many positions within CGRA, including trustee, bylaws chair, and sponsorship chair. In the past 2 years alone, Jack has done a phenomenal job as sponsorship chair, raising over $50,000. Many have suggested that this position become a life sentence for Jack, to which he demurely declines. Additionally, Jack has worked as a rodeo judge at more than 200 rodeos, including the 2014 Gay Games held in Cleveland and Akron, Ohio. One of Jack's fondest memories as a rodeo judge was having been white-hatted at the 10th Canadian Rockies International Rodeo in 2003. This ceremony certifies a visiting dignitary as an honorary Calgarian and is a huge honor. In honor of the 10th year of CRIR, the ARGRA board and CRIR rodeo officials were white-hatted together in what is believed to be the largest ceremony of this type ever. On the International Gay Rodeo Association level as well, Jack has been very involved for many, many years. He has been and is currently co-chair of the IGRA Judges Committee and co-chair of the IGRA Rodeo Officials Committee. If that weren't enough, Jack also served on the board of the Gay and Lesbian Rodeo Heritage Foundation for several years, during which he also served as co-chair for their annual Paladin Awards dinner, raising funds for the organization's charitable work. Most recently, Jack received 3 enormous honors from CGRA. In 2016, he gained the status of lifetime member, and in 2017, he was the recipient of the annual President's Award. Additionally, Jack was named Grand Marshal at Rocky Mountain Regional Rodeo 32 in 2018. Here's how he responded when notified of his selection as Grand Marshal. I can honestly say that my 30-year journey has profoundly affected and impacted my life. The journey and friends I've made have influenced me in my life in ways I will never be able to explain. I am truly humbled to be your Grand Marshal this weekend. I have an amazing life, and it may sound cliche, but the truth is that it's because of each and every one of you that I proudly show up year after year, rodeo after rodeo. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. The same sentiments certainly hold true today as he is inducted into the IJRA Hall of Fame, an immense honor of which he is both humbled and proud. 30 years of rodeo seems like such a long time, but the old adage certainly rings true. Time flies when you're having fun. At the time of his induction into this Hall of Fame, Jack resides with his partner Jeff and their 2 canine companions in Commerce City, Colorado. Jack's partner Jeff is here today, as well as his sister Ellie and brother-in-law Mike, who specifically traveled up here from Denver under the guise of vacation, but they really just came here for this right now. Please welcome Jack Morgan to the Hall of Fame.
Alfred Franklin Harrell III was born in Rocky Mount, North Carolina on January 23, 1952. During his early years, he liked to play with garden hoses and extension cords. His father used to tell the following story. Frank was almost 3 before he was old enough to see a Christmas tree and have any real grasp of what it was. That Christmas, after the tree lights had been on for a couple of hours, I picked him up and let him grab hold of one of the bulbs. Remember those old, bigger, hot ones? He didn't touch the tree again that year, but he has been playing with lights and wires ever since. The neighbors said Frank would grow up to be either a fireman or an electrician, and he's been both. In the late 1950s, Frank's father's photographic business began to dry up, and he was forced to find another source of income. He got a position in the photographic department at the Smithsonian Institution's new Museum of History and Technology, now called the Museum of American History, in Washington, D.C. So at age 11, the family moved to Arlington, Virginia. At a fairly young age, Frank showed a talent for electrical and mechanical abilities. In the 7th grade, the students in his class were given an aptitude test. Since then, he has been proud of his mechanical aptitude score, which was off the chart. Some of his other skills, such as spelling, foreign language, and verbal communication scores, were pretty dismal. But everything averaged out to be, well, average. In 1972, Frank got his dream job working for the Bell telephone system. He wanted to be a telephone installer, but he ended up on an assembly line sorting telephones as they were removed from houses and businesses and sent into a Western Electric plant to be cleaned and refurbished. This small group of about 10 guys sorted an average of 14,000 telephone sets a day. After a while, Frank couldn't stand it any longer and had to quit. Frank went through a number of jobs as an apartment complex mechanic, drugstore stock clerk and cashier, resident technical director for a community center theater, and eventually got a job he really liked as a cable TV service technician. That job as a cable TV service technician lasted a good 5 years until management changed and the job became, as some people call it, a living hell, and he was again forced to quit. On July 23rd, 1983, which coincidentally just happened to be Frank's sister's 23rd birthday, Frank met his life partner and eventual husband, Tom Lott. They hit it off right away, and within 6 months had moved in together. After quitting the cable company, Frank worked for a very large homeowners association in Reston, Virginia. His duties included electrical, plumbing, locksmithing, carpentry, and working with the cabling and some system administration on their VAX 11750 mini computer. This mini computer was about 15 feet long by 4 feet high and 3 feet deep, and had the processing power of about the same level as the iPhone 1. It was during this period that one of the ladies in the office started calling him Cowboy because he always wore a cowboy hat. The name stuck, and it wasn't long before everybody in the organization was using that nickname. In 1988, Frank and Tom purchased a 29-foot travel trailer and a truck to pull it. In 1989, they sold the houses they had and took a 2-year sabbatical touring the country as full-timers. One of the goals they had on the trip was to visit as many of the national park sites as they could get to. Before the trip ended, they had visited more than 320 sites. After the trip, they settled down in Northern Virginia, and Tom returned to work. Within 8 months, Frank came down with pneumocystis pneumonia, one of the more common first ailment diseases of AIDS victims prevalent at the time. Frank doesn't remember much of the next 6 weeks except being on the operating table and remembering the nurse saying, "Try not to cough. We're losing him." Frank spent 2 weeks in intensive care and another month in an isolation room before recovering enough to return home. The doctors gave him 6 months to live, which was the average life expectancy of an AIDS patient in Frank's condition at that time. Somehow, Frank made it past those 6 months. When they realized he had more time to live, Frank needed something to do. While they had been visiting all those parks, they had heard of a facility the Park Service had in West Virginia called Harpers Ferry Interpretive Design Center. This is the central facility which is responsible for creating all of the national park brochures, museum films, slideshows, and many of the publications you see at the parks. The center employs some of the most brilliant people in the world in the field of museum development, educational communication, and design. Frank thought this must be a great place to volunteer at, so he got a position with the audiovisual department. Most of his duties consisted of making VHS copies from master tapes of the videos shown in the parks, which would be used as replacements for worn-out tapes. After about a year, the daily 100-mile round trip became a bit too much, so Frank switched to volunteering at Manassas National Battlefield Park, which was only 11 miles from where he lived. He volunteered as the park's computer specialist. While there, Frank taught many classes in computer operation to the park's employees. Frank, at his own initiative, installed a computer network, which turned out to be the first network in any small park in the national park system. Frank believes in a system he calls trickle down. Each year, some people in the park would get new computers, usually those people that were on their computers all day. Frank would take their old ones, rebuild them, and trickle them down to the next person who needed an upgrade. Then theirs would get trickled down, and so forth. Frank's park was the first park in the entire national park system where every employee had their own computer, and within a year, every computer was connected to the internet and every employee had their own email account. Another project Frank ended up with was to build the park's web page. This is where Frank began to learn HTML and how to build websites that were both informative and easy to navigate. Manassas Battlefield was the first park in the system to have its own web page, even ahead of Yellowstone and Yosemite National Parks. All of this was done only 3 years after the World Wide Web had been invented. In the 6 years Frank was at the park, he put in over 6,000 hours of volunteer time. Because of all the volunteer things Frank did, he was awarded the prestigious Honorary National Park Ranger Award, the highest award the National Park Service has. When Frank received his, there had only been 120 of these awards given out in the history of the national park system. A few of the other recipients up until that time were Ansel Adams, First Lady Lady Bird Johnson, Paul Mellon, John D. Rockefeller Jr., President John F. Kennedy, and Hank Williams Jr. Frank believes he is the first non-famous person to have received the award. Back in the 1980s, Frank had subscribed to the magazine's Drummer and Honcho. In one of the 1995 issues, he found an advertisement for Roundup magazine, which he immediately subscribed to. The first issue he received in June of 1995 had the listing for the gay rodeos for the next year. This was the first time Frank had heard of the gay rodeos. They already had plans for the weekend of the 1995 Atlantic Stampede, so the first rodeo he and Tom were able to attend was the 1996 Rocky Mountain Regional Rodeo. Frank had gotten into home video back in 1983, so of course he took his camera to Denver for their rodeo and has had either a video or digital still camera, or both, at every rodeo they have attended since. Frank makes all his photographs and videos available for free to anyone who would like to see them. He just wants credit. After leaving Manassas Battlefield, Frank began creating websites for small nonprofits. In 2002, he took over the website for Atlantic States Gay Rodeo Association, and in 2005 became the webmaster for IGRA. At the beginning of 2011, Frank and Tom moved to Castle Rock, Colorado, just south of Denver. In July of that year, due to a series of unrelated events, Frank found himself in possession of the IGRA archives. Then, Frank went to work scanning programs and developing the Gay Rodeo History website. He registered the domain gayrodeohistory.org, and on July 26, 2011, the first pages were posted. During the next 8 months, Frank scanned away, and on March 21, 2012, at 12:40 in the afternoon, after almost 13,000 scanned pages, the last of the 379 rodeo programs and 16 of the magazines in the archives at that point were posted. Since then, the site has grown enormously. At the end of 2018, the site contains more than 497 rodeo and convention programs, thousands of photographs and videos, hundreds of rodeo buckle pictures, pins, magazine articles, newspaper clippings, posters, rodeo rule books, and many other pages on the history of gay rodeo. When people began to see our history online, many more donations were given to the collection, which over the next 6 years has quadrupled in size. The archives ended up taking their spare bedroom, much to the dismay of Tom. On January 18th, 2018, Frank woke up to find that his life partner and soulmate had passed away in the night. Since then, Frank has sold the house and has purchased a new fifth-wheel trailer and truck and has begun his second life as an RV full-timer with the intention of attending as many rodeos as he can get to. I'm sure that Tom is looking down on us today with pride. Please welcome Frank as the next Hall of Famer.
I'm only going to say one thing. That is the first and last time you will ever see this cowboy in drag.
But you were so pretty. If the 4 new inductees could come up to the front for a photo op with your buckles, that would be really awesome. And thank you so much, Patrick Terry, AKA Carol Merrill, for the display and distribution, Candy and Ronnie and Roger for making it possible for me to not have to read all 4 of these.
Everybody, we have
Hello?
a treat for you.
I just meant, please welcome Cheer Salt Lake.
Let's go rodeo, let's go. 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 So, good afternoon, International Gay Rodeo Association delegates and friends. We are Cheer Salt Lake, and we're excited to be here with you today and welcome you to our great Salt Lake City. How's everyone doing today? Woo! Everyone's been enjoying their time in Salt Lake? Yes, great. So a little bit about us. We are Cheer Salt Lake. We're a nonprofit organization. We're a proud member of the Pride Cheerleading Association, composed of adults of all ages, body types, races, religions, genders, and sexual orientations. As a fundraising group who cheers, we seek to enhance the quality of life for those living with life-threatening conditions by not only raising money for local charities, but by raising the spirits and hopes of the community and inspiring people to always do their very best. So I have a quote to share with you today. So you have 3 choices in life: give up, give in, or give it all you got. So here's Cheer Salt Lake giving it all they got. All right, how many in here have you ever wanted to be a cheerleader or done cheer? Yes. All right, so we're gonna need a little help with this next part. So we're gonna call a couple people up to help us. I know everyone's kind of hiding now, right? So we're gonna call up Miss Tessie, AKA Tim Smith. All right, come on up, Tim, come on up. We're going to call up Dan Iverson. Where's Dan? Come on, Dan. Amy Griffin. Come on up, Amy. Rayanne Grow. Not Rayanne, okay. How about Jack Morgan? All right. We were also going to call down John Beck, but we're not going to call John Beck down because we heard he had a lot of fun with the Saliva Sisters last night. So we're going to give him a little break if he wants to, or he's welcome to come up. All right, John. That's awesome. All right, so our cheerleaders here, we're going to make these guys cheerleaders. Yes. All right, so come on down. We're going to put a couple of you in thigh stands. Thigh stands. So what you're going to do is we're going to have two of our cheerleaders with their knees down here. You're going to come up, and they're going to help you, and you're going to go up in a thigh stand. All right, all right. Who's ready to do that? Oh, Amy. Amy's very hesitant about this. She is not sure about a thigh stand. Here, hey, Cheer Salt Lake. This is Amy. Amy, you're awesome. All right, here goes Amy. Get your cameras and videos ready. We got people helping her there. You can do it, Amy, you can do it. Ready? There she goes. Woo! Give it up for Amy. Thank you, Amy. Who's our next victim for a thigh stand? Tim. Looks like Tim. All right, we're going to try this. They're good, they're good. They've done high heels, so they're good with boots. Yeah, get ready.
Go, Tessie, go!
There you go. Oh, you got it. You look at that. He's a natural born cheerleader there. All right. Oh, who's next? Looks like Dan is next. Oh, look at that. With easy bend. Woo! Way to go. Here we go. Woo! All right. We've got one more here. Oh, he's going to go the back way. Oh, look at that. Woo! All right. All right, guys. This is our great new squad team people here. They're going to join our team. All right. Thanks so much, you guys, for your help. We had a lot of fun. Some of you are natural cheerleaders. Tim, I heard about you. All right. I also want to call down Kevin So I want to thank Kevin for giving us the opportunity to come and perform for you all today. So, hey team, this is Kevin. Hey Kevin, you're awesome. What do you guys think? Should we put Kevin in a thigh stand as well? Sorry, Kevin. The crowd wants to see it. They want to see you in a thigh stand now. What comes around goes around, right? There he goes. You got it, Kevin. Woo! All right, Kevin. We want to thank you guys so much for having us. We wish you all an awesome and successful 2019 rodeo season. Thank you so much. We hope you guys have an awesome and safe travel home for those of you that have traveled here. Take care.
We're gonna take a 10-minute bathroom break. Be back at 1:50. We're gonna go back and finish the election so Frank can make his flight.
First of all, I was asked from the floor if we could get a vote count of the presidential election. So I'd like to ask Michael Norman if he would read the results that I turned into him. We've done it before. It's just not very often. There's nothing in the bylaws against it. Yes.
Okay, the vote count for President of IGRA, Candy Pratt, 50. Robert Thurtell, 16.
Thank you, Norman. Michael?
I've been called worse.
All right, then next office is Treasurer. Are there any more nominations for the office of Treasurer? Seeing none. Nominations are now closed for the office of Treasurer. Yesterday we passed a new bylaw which said that we can choose to do the vote by other means than a written ballot. So the committee, the nominations committee, is recommending that we do a voice count, and it's up to the floor to decide if we do that.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Okay. No. That's not it. No, hang on. That was just agreeing to a voice vote.
Now the official vote.
Okay. Now, all those in favor of David say aye. I was waiting for y'all. Say, any opposed? Nay? Abstentions? There you go, David. All done? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Now your turn. Okay, we're gonna, moving back to, new business on bylaws right now, and Benjamin's gonna explain.
So yeah, this is, we're now back to discussion of, or the situation where we left off with a caucus after Roger's proposal or motion to reconsider a bylaw that was passed yesterday. There was the bylaw that Roger mentioned, the change that Roger mentioned was BSR 04, but that was not the change that he wanted to be reconsidered. Yet some people who voted on the motion to reconsider were looking at, as it was on the screen and on their own computers, were looking at BSR 04. So people were voting, some people were voting on what the intent, Roger's intent was, and some people were voting on what was actually on the screen and what Roger had said. So it seems that maybe Candy could ask without objection, we should probably redo that vote so people know what they're voting on to reconsider.
Is everybody, Roger? Where's it?
Well,
Okay.
we can, but yes, before
Well,
we will.
What we're
yes.
saying is that the wrong one was up that people were voting on, so we're trying to nullify that and start over because.
A do-over.
A do-over.
Yeah.
Does
Is
anybody
there-
have any objection to that? Because what you thought you were voting on and what was up there is two different things. Okay? Any objections to that? Okay, we're gonna start over then.
All right, so back on the floor then would be Roger's corrected motion, and you can tell us, Roger, was it BSR 13?
Yes.
Well,
Can you
if we
bring
tell
up
Frank to put 13 up, he'll tell us that, yes.
13.
I thought we looked at this on break, but I guess we didn't.
Yes, this is his original intent, but that's not what was put on the screen, so.
And I guess a recommendation from a parliamentary perspective, well, we have to open up for, the motions will be on the floor then, Roger's motion, if the same person is still interested in seconding, we can pick right back up. We would have 10 minutes for discussion and debate, only if your discussion was different than from before, would you probably need to weigh in, so don't feel obligated to use the full 10 minutes, I suppose.
Number 11.
As I read this, it's changing the previous, there were divisional chairpersons, and the divisions are being eliminated with 2 additional trustees being elected by the Board of Trustees. Can we get an explanation from Benjamin or the proposer as to why this is being proposed? Why the change?
Number 2. I believe he's.
I will,
Okay.
just to answer
Okay.
Roger's question,
Okay.
I don't know why the proponent made this proposal. I've spoken to some of you on break about how the discussion in the bylaws committee went, but I would defer that to the group and to the bylaws committee members that were there during the discussion. But I don't know the intent of the original intent of the person who proposed it.
No, I think Tim wants to answer that.
So, originally, the proposal that came to the committee was that the trustees would select the chairperson and that they would be on the executive board, and that the other 2 trustees would be voted on by this delegation to be on the executive board. That was the original. And this is kind of what the committee changed to allowing the trustees to select all 3. Because I think the intent was when the divisions go away, then you have nobody else on the executive board, and we're trying to put them back on the executive board somehow. Sorry, y'all. It's that cheering.
Okay. Oh, so we need to stop that. Number 7. Just make sure that your discussion is on the reconsidering this.
Still on reconsidering.
Yes. Number 3. No. Okay. already is one, just the discussion needs to be. Yep.
Why you want to reconsider? I want to reconsider it. Tell us.
There's a mic.
The reason I want to reconsider this, I think originally we went through this extremely fast, and this is an important decision that's taken away divisions, and I think we really need to analyze this a little bit further. So that's fine.
Any other discussion on the motion to reconsider? Okay, does everybody understand what we're voting on? This was passed earlier, and now you are voting to bring it back to discuss it again, okay? All right, so all those in favor of bringing it back, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say nay. Nay. It failed. Frank, can you bring up 07? Oh, I thought this passed.
Oh, I need to edit it.
This passed.
That's BSR, Frank. We need new business 07.
I'm sorry. We need new business.
But don't open it yet, because I cleaned it up and I left something in there. Okay, now it should be good. Refresh if you open it on your computer.
We'll give everybody time to read this. Number 11. Michael? Oh.
He might have a question for me.
Oh, did you have a question for him or?
No, I'm the presenter. I was going to, Mike Lentz, Asgra, I'm the presenter. I was going to just give a really quick explanation so that people would know what's going on here. Is that okay? All right, this is just the changes at the very bottom here, the substantial change. There is an editing correction, a formatting correction that's shown here. Right now that section says paragraph A, paragraph B, C, A, B, C, D, and it was an accident. The part under C should have been 1, 2, 3, and I think there's a 4 down below. But the only change is in paragraph C, and it just simply initially talks about production of the rodeo rule book. And there's a note there that says rodeo rules, changes, and additions adopted at the previous year's annual convention shall be highlighted in the pocket rule books printed for distribution to contestants and officials. That's just so that each year when you get your new rule book, you can very quickly, because they're highlighted, find the changes. And I think that was a way to educate contestants, officials, and others. And that's the reason for that, is to make sure we are highlighting our changes. I know we've attempted to put changes listings in the front in the past. It still doesn't solve the deletions issue. There's another way that could be handled, but this was to actually say that we really want changes and additions highlighted to ease with transition to a new year each year.
Any other discussion? Michael?
This will be my first year doing the book. I have no idea whether or not the printers can do highlighting of sections, but highlighting things that have been deleted, once it's deleted, it's gone. And so when you say highlighted, is bolding, would you consider bolding the same as highlighting? Okay.
Number 8.
Gene Frakes, North Star. I just want to make sure that we understand that we're well aware that you can't highlight something that's been deleted. This is just referencing the stuff that is still there, but it changed, the wording changed, or it was added in new, not the deleted. We understand that's still an issue to be addressed.
Number 1?
Jack Morgan, CJRA. I love this idea. My only reservation is the potential cost, because then you're printed color. Would a higher print be an option? Gray or something like that? Yeah, just from a cost. So friendly amendment, maybe instead of highlighted, bold or high gray or whatever.
Pork Chop has a sample if anybody wants to see what he's talking about. Pork Chop will help you out. Any other discussion? 2?
I would say that I am extremely in favor of this. As I'll give you all an example, a new rule that got put in last year was the staking. And so when we got to our rodeo, we were trying to find that rule, going through the book, and we probably 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, literally trying to find the thing about staking. So this, I think, will be a quicker reference for us to go through. The only other thing I think that might be good, and it's actually Chuck Browning had mentioned it yesterday, was in the index you highlight every set, like in that, and you would also know that it was highlighted. That's another option.
Any other discussion? Frank?
For a couple of years, I was able to get the Rodeo Rules Committee to send me their changes, and I was at least able to post it on the website. But that only happened 2 times, and I haven't been able to get them to submit it to me since then.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Abstentions? It passes. Any other new business? Seeing none, new business is done. Okay, after convention, the board of directors is going to meet on the 7th floor in the Hawthorne to start our meetings. Okay, we'll start with announcements. CJRA.
First off, CJRA would like to thank the Salt Lake and City and Utah Association for all the hospitality, all the hard work it took to put this on. So thank you very, very much. I know it was hard work, and it's greatly appreciated by us. Secondly, everybody in the room, CJRA would like to invite you to the Denver Rocky Mountain Regional Rodeo, July 5th, 6th, and 7th at Jefferson County Fairgrounds. For those of you that were there last year, remember we had a junior rodeo on Friday night. We will be making that on Saturday night. Again, we will be presenting a bid for the 2019 convention and hope to have approval and see everybody at the Rocky Mountain Regional Rodeo. Thank you so much. Safe travels. And congratulations to the new IJRA President, Candy Prant, and our new treasurer, or continued treasurer of many years, David Hill. Thank you for your continued service and look forward to an amazing term.
TGRA.
I'd like to shadow Jack's compliments to UGRA and City of Salt Lake for the great work they put on putting this convention on. I'd like to invite everybody to the Texas Tradition Rodeo Memorial Weekend, May 24th to the 27th, 2019. If you're in the Austin area on December 1st, we have our Cans for Charity Barrel Race. It is a 5D, 5 buckles. If you're in the Dallas area, we have our Yellow Rose event coming up November 25th. Knock, knock what? Terrell, okay. Yellow Rose competition in Dallas on November 25th. And then we have our Hard Candy Christmas in Dallas on December 16th. And we'd like to send a thank you for everybody for all their hard work and getting things done today. Thank you.
GSGRA.
Hi, I'm David Lawson, GSGRA president. I'd like to thank everybody for all the hard work and dedication. And one thing that I'd like to kind of point out that in a couple of the years past at convention, we'd all be talking and we would hear, well, if we're even here next year, meaning our association, not the convention. And this year, I have to tell you, I never heard once anybody say, well, if we even exist next year. So that confidence that IGRA and all of us will still be here is pretty amazing. Keep in mind that the Palm Springs Rodeo will be May 3rd through the 5th at Banning again this year. And that rodeo was voted best ground. So horse people, there's going to be added money there, and there, dedication to good ground is going to be there. The Bay Area Rodeo will be September 13th through the 15th. Keep in mind that rodeo was voted second best ground. So there'll be some added money there, even though we passed ours on down. Just want you to know that out in California, we're dedicated to do the best we can to make a good, safe rodeo for everybody. And so we hope that we'll see everybody there this next year.
Thank you. AGRA?
I'd like to thank UGRA, Kevin Hillman, and his crew for putting on a wonderful convention. So I'd like to thank the Salt Lake area. The Sliva sisters coming in last night, they did a wonderful job. So also the Marriott University Park. I don't know if anybody's had problems with rooms. I haven't heard much of anything like that, but we thank you too. So I want to invite you all to our 34th annual Arizona Gay Rodeo Association Rodeo, President's Day weekend 2019. So we'll look forward to seeing you in sunny Phoenix, Arizona.
Thank you. MGRA?
I'd like to thank Utah for a great convention. I also want to invite you all to come to Kansas City, Missouri, Labor Day weekend. Have a grand time.
In MGRA?
Yeah, I would like to echo the congratulations and thank you to Utah Gay Rodeo Association for a great convention. Also, an MGRA royalty step down will be December 14th and 15th at Sidewinders in Albuquerque, so if you're in the area, please drop by. We will be having the Zia Regional Rodeo in Santa Fe, New Mexico on August 16th through 18th, 2019. That date is subject to change depending on some further discussions with the Board of Directors of IGRA. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brian. Gene?
North Star would like to also thank UGRA for a great weekend. This is North Star's year off. We're an every other year rodeo. We encourage you to attend our sister rodeo for swapping years, Diamond State Rodeo. We'd also like to thank the Contestant Liaison Committee for the incentive to have good ground. Our board is very, very new and very, very non-rodeo literate, I guess would be the right, and don't understand sometimes what things need. Thank you to the Bay Area chapter in passing their funds down to the 4th place, because I personally know that putting a rodeo on that has safe ground for our animals is by far the most important thing. When people don't know what that's about, an incentive like this can make a huge difference in learning that. So I do thank everybody who contributed to allow that to be paid down as far as it was. And again, I thank the Bay Area for your generosity in allowing me to reward my people for listening to what I said, even though they had no idea why I was saying it. So thank you.
Thank you, Gene. DSRA, Lisa?
First of all, we'd like to thank Utah for the hospitality and the facilities and everything else. It has been a good weekend. Rodeo in the Rock, which is the second rodeo of the circuit next year, is April 26th through 28th. So y'all, if you want to come have some fun, come on out. We'll have our rodeo school. We'll be digging for diamonds, and we'll trolley ride. We'll do it all. Whatever we're going to have fun, okay? And you have one last chance this afternoon to get you a chance to win up to $600 at our Christmas giveaway, which is December 15th. Everybody be safe, and see you next year. Oh, and don't forget your papers if you come to our rodeo.
I promise I'll always have them. Yes, Asgra?
Patrick Hunter, Atlantic States Gay Rodeo Association. I also want to express our gratitude and thanks to the Utah Gay Rodeo Association for putting on a fantastic convention. It's a great hotel, having everything self-contained here the past 2 nights really made it a lot of fun. Some of the upcoming events that Atlantic States Gay Rodeo Association has is we have a monthly horseback ride every month that takes place all 12 months of the year. We are going to be having a membership meeting in April. After that membership meeting, we are going to go see the Gay Men's Chorus of Washington, D.C. And then also there's another group in our area called DC Rawhides. That's a dance group. They put on dances about every other Saturday. So if you are coming to Washington, D.C. or coming to the D.C. area, contact us, let us know you're here, and we've got some stuff for you to do. Thank you very much.
Thank you. NGRA, Jeffrey?
Jeffrey Neal, trustee for Nevada Gay Rodeo Association. Thank you so much to Utah Gay Rodeo Association. You are awesome. You did what you needed to do this weekend, and we really appreciate the time. We would love to see you all in Vegas, and we have plenty going on to entertain you, aside from all the changeovers of the residencies in Vegas, which I'm sure everybody has been watching. We also have coming up, actually, next weekend, on the 24th of November at the Flex Cocktail Lounge will be our royalty competition, and some of you will be there helping us judge and enjoy the evening. It's going to be a great event, and our new royalty team will do their challenges to step up for the coming year. Also in February, I want to let everybody know that NGRA is hosting a 5D barrel race the weekend after Arizona's rodeo. It will be held out at the Henderson Saddle Association, and it's a Saturday-only race. So if you are in the area and would like to come by and do some speed racing, then let's do it together. Bighorn Rodeo will be scheduled again on September 20th through 22nd, and we hope to see you all in Vegas.
Thank you. Hilgra?
Tom Sheridan, Vice President of Illinois Gay Rodeo. Thank you, UGRA. We had a blast this weekend. Some great things that went on. Loved the Saliva Sisters last night. Fantastic. And the cheerleaders today. Gene, I'm putting you up for that next year. February 2nd is our royalty contest in Illinois. Some of the folks had an incredible time there last year. Thank you for coming. Thank you for vowing to come back again this year. I'm going to make it as cold as I possibly can. snowmobiles. Anyway, Wild West Weekend, which is a favorite to a lot of folks here, will be the last weekend of June, the 28th through the 30th, at Campit Resort in Saugatuck, Michigan. I'm just going to tell you that it's going to be an incredible weekend, probably the best we've ever had there. We have Homo Rodeo involved. It's going to be over the top. We will be presenting an official bid for the 2020 convention next year in Denver. It will be, like I mentioned before, 25 years since Illinois or the Windy City has had a convention there, so we hope you all will come and support us for that. Thank you very much.
Red River.
Sammy Simpkin, Red River Rodeo Association. Kevin and the whole Utah Gay Rodeo Association, I heard 0 complaints and 100 compliments. So great job. You guys came in 2 years ago as a new association. The next year you applied to come here. Your second year you put it on. You did a fantastic job. Thank you. Hall of Famers, congratulations to you, that honor, and giving us the pride and the history that you have presented to this organization. Such a huge honor, and I know most of you, but I didn't know the history of most of you. So that's what was really interesting, and thank you for all you've done for this organization. Canada, welcome. We're so happy to have the new organization back, and I am looking forward personally to going back to your organization, and we know the people that are running it, so it's in great hands. Delegates, thank you all for being here. You've put in the time and the commitment, and that's what's going to make our organization go in the direction we want to go. So it's kind of nice to see that support of each other here. And then as far as Red River, we're looking at a rodeo school before the Arizona Rodeo. Tentatively, right now, it's possibly January 26th. Check the IGRA website, because as soon as it's decided, we will notify them and it'll go up on the website. But the idea is to get it going before our first rodeo of the year. And finally, World Gay Rodeo Finals coming up in Scottsdale for 2019. And one thing I want to say about that is how it kind of all came together is just some people that weren't even on a committee got together and started putting things together for that committee when it did come together. And what I'm saying, the reason I'm saying that is, if you want change in this organization, everyone talks about it, then do that. Go start, take it upon yourself, go action, create action, and then present it to IGRA, and things will get done. Thank you.
KSGRA, Adam.
Adam Romanek, President of Keystone State Gay Rodeo Association. I also would like to echo thank you to Utah for this convention, and also I just want to say thank you to everyone. This is, from KSGRA, we have not been in a long time association like many, but I have to say that this has been one of the smoothest conventions that I've ever been to. And it's amazing to me at 2:22 we're doing announcements. That's pretty awesome. Especially from an association that comes a long way to these type of events, because normally we would be leaving to start back home. Thank you. Also, thank you for this rodeo family. Obviously, I'm sure everyone heard on late Thursday night, Mary and I had a pretty scary accident, and the support and outpouring has been amazing, so thank you all. Mary was very upset that she could not be here, and she told me to tell everyone hello, and that she missed us, and she's looking forward to seeing everyone in the next rodeo year. And just an update, lots of people have asked me about Mary. So she did have a broken femur. She had emergency surgery like the next day to have a rod put in her femur. At this point, I don't have a lot to update except that she's still in the hospital in Casper, Wyoming. I'm heading to Casper tomorrow after I go pick up everything out of my car. And I'll know more after that when she might be released or anything. But at this point, she's just resting, and recovering. As far as KSGRA goes, we are not holding a rodeo in 2019, but we plan on holding a rodeo in 2020, so we're going to be working towards that. So 2019 for KSGRA is going to be a rebuilding year. We've already planned a lot of events. We're having a royalty competition in February. We're planning on having some barrel races and things. And one of the things that we have found that has been pretty successful, and even though we're not holding a rodeo, we plan on having about 2 or 3 rodeo schools to build up Team KSGRA. And for those of you who know me, I expect that you will see me, Team KSGRA, and the bus pulling into a number of rodeos. So, we'll be traveling together as KSGRA, coming to a lot of different rodeos in 2019.
Utah?
Let me do some business first. Our silent auction is closed, so at the end, please come and get your stuff. See Rayanne and Jim here, and they'll help you out. Whew, this has been a lot of fun. I am so relieved that it's not funny. First off, I want to thank IGRA for welcoming us back with open arms. It's been wonderful to have y'all here. We tried to put on the best weekend we could without a whipped cream auction. And for those of you who don't know, ask those who do. Okay. I know a lot of you see me a lot. You see my face. I get a lot of times when you're doing this alone, but I'm not. And at this time, I want to introduce those people who put this on for you. I'd like to introduce Brad Earl. He's been up on the camera. My husband, Ryan Alder. Your MC, Robbie Harrison Garcia. My treasurer, Jim Baker. My vice president, Katina Turaro. Some of these days I'll know how to say her name. I also would like to introduce our lifetime member, Chris Trujillo. And UGRA President Rayanne Groh. This weekend wouldn't have been possible without their support and others that aren't here. And thank you for coming. We hope you had a great time. Congratulations to our new Hall of Famers. I know many of you, and really am happy of that. And congratulations to Canada. We need you.
Goes over to Alberta. You get to get on. They're coming over.
I have some notes. Sorry. First, I want to, Judy Munson, Canadian Rockies Gay Rodeo Association. I want to thank Utah. You guys did an excellent job. I concur that the hospitality was perfect. The hotel was great. And I know it's not easy. We did it in Calgary quite a few years ago, and it's not an easy feat. I want to thank the delegates that are here, first of all, for voting to seat CRGRA, sorry. Whoa! That's the first time I've done that, so, well, probably won't be the last. CRGRA, for the support and the feeling of enthusiasm, and you guys just saying, yeah, come back, or let's just start over and do it. Our emphasis is back to the dirt, back to the party. So we're going right back to the basics. Those of you who remember Simons Valley will remember kind of the setting and how small it was and intimate. Well, we're kind of trying to go back to that. So I think that that's kind of what we're looking at. And it's going to be all about rodeo. It's going to be about partying and socializing, about rodeo family, and just having a good party. Our board consists of Heather Murray, most of you know her, Wayne Schultz. Wayne's been involved for many, many years. Lori Andrews, you might know her. Scott Woodruff, Denise Sluggett, or Sluggo, as many of you will know her, and myself. We're a group of enthusiastic, passionate, committed, and experienced people. We're starting this association from scratch, and I hope that we can get your support because we're definitely going to need it in many ways, primarily financially, as all new associations do. We all know we go through those growing pains. You can all help the new CRGRA by coming up to Canada, compete, party, experience the beauty of the North, come early, and stay late. And if you've been to Calgary and not really experienced Banff or not spent some extra time, try and do that because it's well worth it. Number one, get your passports. You have to have a passport to get across the border. So those of you that have said to me, oh, I don't have a passport, you have a few months to work on it. Also, if you really want to support CRGRA, you can buy a membership for the International Association. I have some information here available. The memberships are $25, and that's kind of a fundraiser for us. Our proposed date, and it hasn't been confirmed, but our proposed date is June 28th to 30th, 2019. So it will be the weekend before Denver. We look forward to our American rodeo family coming up to compete and play with us in 2019. And if I didn't get around to give you a Canadian pin, come get one from me. I've got some Canadian pins I'd love to give away. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Jorge? She acts like she's in trouble. I know. That was like, oh, I got caught on my phone. Congratulations. And again, thank you to Wrangler for all their sponsorship this year. I would like to thank Utah Gay Rodeo Association for a wonderful convention. This has been one of the smoothest conventions that I remember in a long time, and I think they're a huge part of that. I was thinking last night, though, that maybe the Saliva Sisters were talking about me. So many of those songs, you know? Anyway, I really enjoyed the show last night. Yeah, Brawlhide, I can't get that out of my mind. Anyway, I enjoyed the show last night and again this afternoon with the cheerleaders. That was lots of extra entertainment that we really do appreciate, so thank you. I also wanted to echo something that Sammy said. I believe it's all your time and dedication and your commitment to this organization that makes it possible for us to continue, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining us at the convention and helping out with all the committees and all our decisions, and also in believing in me. Thank you. I want to congratulate the 4 Hall of Famers. What a fantastic thing that we keep growing our Hall of Fame, and I'm hoping that we add to it or whatever. We have so many deserving people, and being on that committee and seeing all the names every year, and this year I think Amy will tell you that it was just one vote that went through that, you know, selected those people. But make sure that, I think the deadline is the end of March or whatever, that if you, March 1st, if you have any people that you want nominated for the Hall of Fame, to go ahead and get them in, because there is so many deserving individuals. I want to welcome, I'm going to try to get this right because you got me off. CRGRA, welcome to the family. I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you put the I back in IGRA, and look forward to y'all's rodeo. In ending, I appreciate everybody. Travel safe home. We have a few more meetings this afternoon. Frank Harrell, to you. what a wonderful thing that we have every year that Frank spends all of his time and money and televises this for everyone else and does all our digital work for us. Thank you very much, Frank. And don't forget, the first rodeo is in Phoenix, Arizona. A fun time. We'll have a board meeting there. So everybody try to come and support them and have a good time. So do I have a motion? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. We're adjourned.